Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thanks so much for joining us today. I am going to be talking to you about that. I'm going to be talking to you about my labour and delivery story for Billie. So she is my eldest. I do have another one, Lenny, but I'll save that for another day. So Billie, my goodness, being pregnant with your first, it's like the weirdest thing. Actually, not your first. Just in general, being pregnant is freaking crazy. Like there is a whole human being inside your body, and you have they just kick and punch and grab organs. Well, not really grab organs, but they'll give them a good kick. It's the weirdest thing. But anyway, I was so ready to have Billie. My pregnancy was pretty good, I've got to say. My pregnancy was pretty easy with Billie. I was just ready. I was super excited to meet her. I did have pelvic instability, which I don't know if any of you guys have got it or you've heard of it, but it makes you feel like you've been kicked in the every time you go for a walk. It doesn't have to be a long walk. No, it could be from the couch to the kitchen, and suddenly it's really not fun. Anyway, so because I had pelvic instability, I wasn't going for walks. I did sort of for the first maybe like half of my pregnancy, but then it really kicked in and I couldn't, because I'd go for like a half-hour walk and then be sitting on the couch for the rest of the day, unable to move because of the pain. So no, I stopped walking, I stopped exercising, and I just ate carbs. Yeah, lots of carbs. Anyway, so the day that I went into labour with Billie, it was like 2 days before my due date, and I'd been having Braxton Hicks and all that stuff for ages. So I, on this day, went for a walk. Not by choice. I'd gone to breakfast with some friends, and they all had their kids there who had their rollerblades, and we were having breakfast on the beach at a little cafe. So they thought, oh, we'll just go for a really gentle wander up, along the beach. And I just didn't want to be rude and didn't want to be that annoying person who was like, guys, I can't do that because I've got pelvic instability and I'm really a buzzkill. No, I just went. So it wasn't a really strenuous walk, but in my head I'm thinking, oh, this is going to really hurt later. Anyway, we went for a little bit of a walk, and that was actually that was probably around lunchtime. And then just throughout that day, I just had been feeling little bits and pieces, but we'd spent it with our friends, so I wasn't really saying anything, just getting on with it, as you do. But then we went and met other friends for dinner at 5 o'clock with their kids at Taco Bell. You heard me, Taco Bell. I don't even know if I don't really know if I've ever been to Taco Bell before then. Oh, surely I must have. There's not many around. Anyway, we went to Taco Bell. It was 5 o'clock for dinner, and my husband Matt and our friend Matt that we went with decided they'd start drinking margaritas. Yeah. And I was like, honey, I'm due in 2 days. There's a chance I could go into labour. Maybe you should hold up. He's like, whatever, this baby's coming late, she's not going anywhere, she's staying in there for a while, we're all good. And I'm sitting chatting to my girlfriend, yeah, definitely feeling something now, but I don't want to say anything, because it's if you say something, it's gonna stop it, it's just gonna jinx it, and it's not gonna be real, or it's just not real, or it's just not even worth. Anyway, but things were getting really kind of strong, and Matt was drinking more and more. Anyway, he wasn't so drunk or anything like that, but we did leave at 7:30, 8 o'clock that night from Taco Bell, and he was like, honey, you should drive, because I've obviously had too much. And then I got into the car, he got in, bye guys, bye, so good to have dinner with you. Yeah, honey, I'm pretty sure I'm in labour. Yeah, pretty sure this is it. I'm pretty sure I'm in labour. So he was a bit okay. Those weren't his words, but I don't want to We won't say those words. So he was like, yep. We went home. I was like, it's fine. These things take so long. Like, it's just it'll be hours. It's fine, it's fine. So we went home, and the first thing he did was jump on the treadmill for 45 minutes and go for a run. To sweat out the alcohol. I don't know what he was doing. I think that men in these situations don't really know what to do. Like, they kind of need to busy themselves somehow. They want to be helpful, but they can't be helpful, so then they've just got to find something to do, I guess. Anyway, it progressed. I had coupling contractions, I believe they're called, where I was having like 2 contractions super close, back to back, and then a little break in between, and then 2, So I, in my head, was like, I don't know what's going on. Like, I just didn't know what that was saying, I didn't have a clue what that was. And so it was getting worse and worse, obviously. So I obviously was just at home labouring and watching Harry Potter, because that's what I do.
Spiders, they want me to tap dance. I don't want to tap dance.
You tell those spiders, Ron.
Oh yeah, I'll tell.
And then Matt cleaned the house because he'd gone for a run. He definitely sobered himself up, because I think he was in a bit of like, the adrenaline started pumping. So then he started cleaning, like he's in the bath in his undies, like scouring, I don't know, the bath and stuff like that, just cleaning and vacuuming at midnight, like, good on you, buddy. All the pain was in my back because she was posterior, which now, she'd sort of said when I went into hospital later on, she was like, oh, she's posterior. Are you having coupling contractions? That's quite common if you're posterior. So it all kind of made sense, but I just had no clue what that was. So I was labouring, watching my Harry Potter. All the pain was in my back. It hurt. Labour hurts. And I was getting Matt to get me hot water bottles for my back. Anyway, we had a new kettle. It wasn't that new, I think that, anyway. He was getting me a hot water bottle, and one of the times that he got it, he actually poured the water directly onto his hand, like the boiling water, direct from the kettle onto his hand. And he didn't want to say anything to me because I was in labour. So instead, he kind of gave me my hot water bottle and just put like a tea towel on his hand, a wet tea towel. And I was like, what's wrong with your hand? He's like, nothing, it's really fine. It's all fine. I'm such a good dad to be here. And so then eventually, I think it was like 2 or 3 in the morning, I was like, yeah, I want to go into the hospital. Also, I hadn't told the nurse on the phone, the midwife on the phone, that I was having these back-to-back contractions, because I was like, I don't know what's going on, and do I count the time in between those coupling contractions because there is no time, or do I count the couple of minutes between? I was just so confused, and so I was like, no, we're just gonna go in because I don't know what's happening, and I'm done. Like, I'm done with it. I'm done with this labour thing. So I went in, and as we're driving in, I'm saying to Matt, if I'm like over, like 5 or 6 centimeters, then maybe I'll try no epidural. If I'm under, then I'm gonna get an epidural. And then we're driving, and he was driving by this stage, and it was raining, and he had his hand out of the car and was collecting rain from the roof of the car on his burn. He's so stupid. Anyway, and then we finally got there, and they were like, you're 3 centimeters or something like that. I was like, yeah, get me the epidural. Yeah, that'd be great. Just now would be really great with that one. Anyway, finally, they gave me the epidural. It takes like 20 minutes, I guess, to work, and then every time you have a contraction, you can feel it getting lighter and lighter, like less painful with every contraction, until you just can't really feel it at all. Once I was taken care of, Matt goes to the midwife, so now that she's all fine and happy, can I just get something for my burn, because I've burnt my hand, and by this stage, like, it had fully blistered and stuff, like in the first, like immediately. Anyway, she's like, no, I don't have anything for burns. This is a maternity hospital. Like, we don't deal with burns. Anyway, she ended up finding him the perineal ice, which kind of looks like a condom filled with water, and gave him that to put on his hand, which he was like, I don't really want to have my baby come to the world while I've got like a, anyway, that style of ice block on my hand. So they got him something else. He was fine. It wasn't about him. It was about me. And I was really happy because my epidural had kicked in. I was like, well, we've got hours of this. So I watched some more Harry Potter. And that's what I did. I watched Harry Potter. Matt had a sleep. He played his little game on his phone and watched whatever he was watching. Totally fine. And then ages later, and we just chatted to our midwife, who was amazing. Like just normal, like random conversations about nothing whilst I'm labouring. Couldn't feel it. It was all good. And then she goes, oh, my legs did get massive, like swollen, but they weren't really in my head. I was like, oh my God, they're the size of elephants' legs. Like they must be, because that's what they felt like. They weren't that big, but they were swollen. And then, yeah, the midwife came in and she checked me and she's like, so you're 10 centimetres. Awesome. Neil, who's my obstetrician, who, by the way, if you need an obstetrician in Melbourne, hit me up because he is, oh, love him. She's like, so you're 10 centimetres, but Neil's in surgery, doing a caesarian on someone else. Do you mind just waiting? And I was like, no worries. She's like, your body's just going to naturally bring the baby out, bring the baby down. So yeah, you just hang out. He won't be long. So then he came in the room and he's like, so because you've had an epidural, it could take a couple of hours to do the pushing. You might need help. So you might need forceps, you might need a vacuum. We'll just see how we go and we'll just play it by ear, I guess. So he's like, right, I'm going to go back to his office, was like in this hospital. He's like, I'm going to go back to the office. It was like the middle of the day. You start pushing and we'll, you know, go from there. And, you know, hopefully in the next couple of hours we'll have a baby. So then he left and then the midwife was with me, and you do the whole, every time you get a contraction, you do 3 pushes, where there's not really like a, you don't, not like counting down 10, 9, 8 or anything like that. It's just, you just push as hard as you can possibly push, have a breath, push, have a breath, push. So I did that, and then another midwife appeared. And my first midwife was like, hey, watch how good Emma is at pushing. And so she watched, and by the second of my 3 pushes of that contraction, she left. Just walked out the room. So rude. Like, why aren't you applauding me on my pushing abilities right now? Like, you know, I've been told I'm pretty good at this and you're not even like paying attention to it. Anyway, the reason she'd left is because she'd gone to go and get my obstetrician. So he appeared a couple of minutes later and he goes, right, show me how good you are. So I showed him with the next contraction, 3 pushes, and then he's like, yep, we're gonna have a baby the next time you have a contraction. And then I pushed and she came out, and that was it. And she was out and put straight onto my chest for skin to skin. And that was it. And I was in shock. Let me tell you, people have this thing of the minute you see your baby, you're just so overwhelmed with how much you love them. No, I didn't have that. I just thought, wait, I've got a few more hours before you're here. Like, you're not meant to be here right now. The anxiety I had, it wasn't anxiety, I guess. It was more just pure shock of like, holy moly, you're mine, and now I've got to be fully responsible for you. This is crazy. This is some crazy stuff going on right now. So it was so crazy. She was there. You know, my obstetrician's still just fixing what it needs to fix down there while I'm just looking at this teeny tiny baby. And that was it. And then they had turned my epidural off. About an hour after they turned my epidural off, they turn that off, I think, just before you have, like, just while you're pushing so that you can really feel things, but I couldn't feel any pain. I couldn't feel any pain at all, but I could feel her coming out. And then, yeah, so about an hour after I had her, I got up and I had a shower and then walked to my suite. Like the hospital that we're at has kind of like suites, I guess. There's delivery rooms and then there's like your own private suite. So I went there and then that was it. And then we just hung out there for 5 days and then came home. And it was so amazing, so life-changing, so I couldn't have asked for a better experience. Could not have asked for a better experience. And immediately I was like, I want to do that again. That is so amazing that we get to do this. Like how, crazy. Anyway, that's it. That's my birth story for Billie. If you haven't already, please subscribe, click the like button, comment on any other videos you want to see, and I will see you in my next video.